Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for your daily Reiki micro session. This is a micro session because it's only 5 minutes long, where a normal Reiki session with me does last for an hour. So we're going to do 5 minutes of Reiki. That's just enough to get you exposed to the idea of Reiki, give you a chance to ask questions about Reiki, and just see if this is something you might be interested in more of or not. After that, we'll do 5 minutes of questions. And then once you have, where was I going to go with that? I don't even know. So for 5 minutes of questions, you guys get to ask whatever's on your heart or whatever's on your mind. I'll pull out a tarot deck and I will use my intuitive abilities and we'll come up with some nice solid answers that'll help you move forward in your life as long as you get your question in before the 5 minutes go by and I have a chance to answer it by then. Okay, but we are going to start with the Reiki first. And Reiki is good for so many wonderful things. It's hard to even list them all here. And since I don't know what everybody actually needs in their lives out there that's going to be watching this video, I'm just setting the intention for whatever will benefit each of you the most as individuals. Okay. And so if you have something more specific that you would like to have the Reiki focus on for you, feel free to go ahead and adjust that intention. Those of you who are watching this video after the fact, please know that Reiki is energy, which means it is not limited by time or space. So you can get just as much benefit from the Reiki as somebody who's sitting here right now as I'm broadcasting. Okay, so having said all that, let's get this Reiki started. All right, so we're starting Reiki at 13 after the hour. That means we're going to be finishing it up at 18 after. Mr. Bratzman, hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Glad to see you in the room tonight, my dear. Thank you for the thumbs up if that was you. If it wasn't you, whoever did that, thank you for the thumbs up. I do appreciate those. I also appreciate those of you who are sharing this video with others that may benefit from it, especially the Reiki. We have some interesting things going on with the Reiki today too, because there's a lot of energy going out into the heart chakra, and the way this energy is going out into somebody's heart chakra, I think that there is some real rage that the energy is helping you to break through and break off of you. So if you're the person or a group of persons sometimes that is receiving this, you may be feeling some things emotionally as you're receiving this Reiki. If you are, feel free to express those emotions. Allow yourself to feel them. Acknowledge them. This is what it feels like to be upset. This is what it feels like to be angry. This is what it feels like to be anxious. This is what it feels like to be tense. And then release that energy back to the universe so that the universe can totally heal it up. That is your part of the healing if you have some deep emotions happening as the Reiki is coming out to you. And I will guarantee you somebody out there does. And it's totally okay. If you need to cry, cry. Release that emotion. Crying is a very cleansing thing. If you need to scream, put a pillow in front of your face so you don't disturb the neighbors and scream. Or if your neighbors are far away, just scream. Release that energy. Sometimes you need a little more than sage, Mr. Michael. Sometimes you need a release. Sometimes you need a release. I do sage daily, but I will tell you sometimes I need a release as well. La da 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 da. Does anybody here have any questions about Reiki? This is the perfect time to ask those if you do. We do still have 2 more minutes left on the Reiki. Plenty of time to answer a question or two here and there. Plenty of time. It's quiet tonight. Friday night, everybody must be out, right? Only two in the room. That means you get personalized attention if you ask a question tonight. da da da. La da 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 da. La da da da. La da 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 da. Sage has its place. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I also don't want people to have unreasonable expectations of themselves. I don't want people to beat themselves up if they have some emotions to release. It's a good thing. Shows you're human. You haven't become the Tin Man if you have emotions. One more minute of Reiki. I understand, Mr. Michael. You're cool. A lot of times I have people that walk into the room that have never experienced Reiki. So I just want to encourage anybody like that. If you have questions, ask questions. Don't be shy. This is the place to get those answers. All right, so we've got 5 minutes of Reiki. Let's wrap that up. On to questions. Since there's only 2 of you in the room, I'm expecting 2 questions, and I think I should be able to knock out 2 questions in 5 minutes probably. As long as you guys get them in there in a decent time, start typing. I want to see the questions. Offering a service to people is important. La da 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 da. Question, question, question. Any questions in the room? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Well, I'm waiting for that first question to pop in. I think I'm going to pull an oracle card for everybody in the room. We're going to use Oracle of the Lord Ganesha for our oracle. La da 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 la. La da da da. La da 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 da. La da da. Oh, there it went. Fell right out of my hands. Okay, what do we have? Ooh, baby, baby. Revelation. This is one of my favorite out of this deck. So the Oracle card Revelation, for me, that usually means that I have a reading coming in. Somebody's going to be calling me up or texting me, scheduling a reading. That's what it means for me. For you guys in the room, this really actually, if you don't do this professionally, if you're not somebody that somebody's going to call for a reading, then this would be more like along the lines of having some type of revelation, maybe in meditation, maybe not. Sometimes little kids around us will say something and we just kind of have one of those aha type of moments. So this could be something like that happening for you, where you have a newfound understanding of something that you didn't understand at that level before. Whoop, whoop. We like that. We like that. No questions. Nobody has questions for the psychic. How can this be? Everywhere I go, people have questions for me. If I'm in the store and people find out I'm a psychic, they have questions right away. If I'm riding in a car with somebody and people find out I'm a psychic, they have questions for me right away. Here I am on YouTube offering to answer questions free. Where are all these people that have questions right away? Where did they go? Where, oh, where did they go? 2 more minutes to get questions in, guys. Well, the key thing is that if you don't let it go, it becomes a pebble that you're carrying around that's weighting you down, or a big rock, or even a boulder, depending how big of a deal you let it be. So the key to letting something go is not so much for the other person, it's for us. Because we want to be happy, we want to be healthy, we want to be wealthy, we want to be wise. And if we're carrying around a bunch of baggage from somebody doing something silly and not, being grown up and talking to us about, hey, I did some problem here, then, we're only hurting ourselves. It doesn't hurt them. Karma will get them. We don't even have to worry about it. In my experience, when karma gets somebody, usually I feel sorry for the other person before karma's through with them. So may as well just let it go. Questions, questions. Nobody has questions. Y'all are not letting me show off my skills and abilities if you don't ask me any questions. Ooh, somebody in the room is going through a major transformation because I just had a card fall. Major transformation can be a lot of things. Can have to do with work, can have to do with living situation, living location, lots of things. Let's see what else we have about this major transformation that somebody watching is going through. You guys may not be asking questions, but I'm going to give you some answers. Ooh, it's with your living situation. Okay, so it looks like somebody here is living with somebody who, or has been living with somebody who has some type of addiction issue where things are just not balanced for them. And it looks like you're making some changes with that living situation. I don't think you're waiting for that other person to make those changes. What you're doing is you're saying, you know what, I've had enough. This isn't stable. This isn't secure. This has me stressed out. It has me tense. It has me wondering what's coming next all the time. So I have to make some changes for my own sanity. So here's the thing that I see what you guys are doing here. It looks to me like you guys had already sort of pulled away or detached from this situation with this person that has these addiction issues that have added so much instability to your home and to your family. So I think that you may have thought about coming back together with this person and removing that detachment with you and this person. But I think what's going on is now that you've thought about it, you realize that your best choice, your most healthy choice was to just step away and be on your own and, take care of things yourself. Even though I feel like it's a big responsibility to be on your own and take care of things all by yourself. I almost feel like, too, as I'm walking around sort of in this energy on a spiritual level, I feel like it's also there's a little bit of a relief as you're not dealing with all the stresses of this person who has been dealing with this addiction. It's a relief because even if you're on your own and you're doing things by yourself, you're not worrying as much. You don't have those immediate worries about this other person. Not to say that you don't care about them and you're not worried about how they do, but I think that you're feeling like, the most immediate things are coming together more easily without that extra stress and tension and worry. Putting food on the table for you and the babies, is much easier without that extra worry. Being there emotionally for the kids is much easier for you without that extra worry. And so I think that in spite of trying to give this another chance, I think you're deciding that you had made the right decision to pull away and to separate from this. And I think that also what's going on is after you gave this another chance and saw that nothing really has changed. In fact, for whoever this is for, I think that the situation even got worse after you gave it another chance than what it used to be. I think after that experience, what's going on is that you are going to get a divorce now. You're applying for a divorce at this point. So that's for somebody in the room. You guys didn't answer a question, and I don't know what your question would have been around that, but that's what's coming up. So if you have a question around that, if I'm going to stay here for another 2 minutes, just in case there's a big delay, if you want to type in a question around that, I'll be happy to answer that for you. If you're in the room right now, you may be watching later. I don't even know. Why do I want to do this? Define this. Like the live videos, the psychic stuff, the Reiki stuff. What is this that we're asking about? Why do I want to do what? That was a multiple choice answer, honey, not yes or no. That was multiple choice. You got to pick one. I mean, you can say all of the above if you want. I've always liked to help people. Hello there, Ms. Ann. Welcome, welcome. I've always liked to help people. That's just in my nature. Um, I used to think I wanted to be a nurse. I was going to study to be a nurse, and my mom was an RN, and my mom told me, absolutely not, don't do it. I really don't know why she told me don't do it. And she told me like a couple of decades later that she probably should have never said that to me. I would have made a great nurse. um, and then for a while, I wanted to be a psychologist because I thought I could help people like that. And then I just really couldn't imagine having the money to go to college. I came from a family that we just didn't have a lot of money. So that seemed like it was just a pie in the sky type of dream for me. And so after I went into the Air Force for a few years, and then I floated around and I did a lot of warehouse work and I did a lot of retail work. And I went on the truck with my first husband and we drove over the road. Um, I finally like accidentally stumbled across the psychic thing after my significant other passed away. And this has just been the love of my life ever since. I just this is so gratifying and so satisfying. So, so I started out Tamra, hello, glad to see you in here. Let's see. So I actually started out just doing the psychic thing, and I did that for 5 or 7 years, something like that, and, probably 5 years, and then I got an email from another reader I had been to one time, and she was good, she was spot on. And I had gotten on her email list, and she was doing a Reiki class. She was also a Reiki master. Her name's Donna Denome out of Golden, Colorado. And I was curious about Reiki because I knew that emotionally I was kind of all messed up from the way I had been raised, and I really didn't know what to do about it. And so I just thought, well, there's a lot of potential to be worked on there. Let me go ahead and see about this Reiki, see if it really helps or not. So I took Reiki level 1, which talks about healing yourself and also those things that you can actually reach out to and touch. And I saw a lot of results really quickly. And I just suddenly realized like everybody I was doing readings for, everybody I was talking to could use Reiki in their lives. Some of them like desperately. And so I decided that there was no way, like, I would be doing all my clients an injustice if I didn't learn how to do Reiki so that I could at least offer it to them and they would have that choice, would they want Reiki or not? So that's kinda how I got into actually providing the Reiki. And then, um, I was, still pretty early in my practitioner days, and my mom and dad were coming out for a visit to Colorado from Missouri. And then, like 2 weeks before the visit, my mom says to me, "I don't know if I'm going to come. My arthritis is bothering me really badly, and I don't know that I would be able to walk around and do any sightseeing and really enjoy the visit. So I may just let your dad come out and not come." And so I was not happy about that. And I said, "Okay, mom," I said, "do me a favor, don't make your decision just yet. Let me do Reiki for you 15 minutes for every day." And by then I had learned how to do Reiki long distance like I do for you guys here in the live chat. And so I did Reiki for mom 15 minutes every day to help her with her arthritis. And my mom really suffered from arthritis badly: hips, knees, ankles, toe joints, all of her toe joints. Like she was in a lot of pain when she walked. And so she decided to come out at the end of the 2 weeks. She decided to come out, and I continued to do Reiki on her for 15 minutes every day while she was out as well. And so she did quite a bit of walking, actually. She went to Buffalo Bill's grave, and that's a little bit of a hike. We walked around Estes Park and did some, touristy type of shopping type stuff. And she really enjoyed her time. And so I told her, I said, "Mom, you should learn how to do Reiki because then you can do it for yourself because I don't have time to do Reiki for everybody who needs it every single day for 15 minutes. So I think you should really learn how to do it so that you can do it for you." Well, I couldn't teach her. I wasn't a Reiki master at that point. I was just a practitioner. And so what happened was I looked up a bunch of Reiki masters in her area, Yasui Reiki masters. So she would be in the same lineage as me, and sent her the list and said, "Mom, call people, and just whoever feels right to you, then that's the one that you should take classes from." And so I contacted her 2 weeks later to see, how the interview process was going, and she said, "Well, I haven't called any of those people, Amista." And I said, "Well, why not?" And she goes, "I don't know any of those people. I don't trust them. I know you. I trust you." And I said, "Well, Mom, I can't teach you. I'm not a Reiki master. I'm only a practitioner." And that's when my mom said, "Well, I'll wait for you." Now, my mom was already at that point in her 70s, and she's gonna wait for me? I was like, "Mom, if I do a Reiki apprenticeship, that's gonna take me like a year," because I knew that if I wanted to be a Reiki master, I wanted to do the apprenticeship because I wanted to be under somebody that I could ask questions and I could go to. I didn't wanna just do like a online, you get a certificate after you study this stuff for 6 hours or whatever, you know, that just seemed very bogus to me. So I did the apprenticeship. I think I was in it for like 13 or 14 months before it was actually completed. And sure enough, my mom waited. And when I went into the Reiki apprenticeship, I had no idea where I was going to get the money to pay for that. I actually put it out here on the channel, and a lot of you who have run around a while will remember this. I put it out on the channel on Independence Day, whatever year it was, that I needed help to raise money so that I could actually do this apprenticeship. And so people would donate money because I needed to learn so I could teach my mom. That's the only reason I learned to become a Reiki master. I really was not going to do that. And so people would donate money, and when they would donate money, then I would give them however much they donated, I would give them that many minutes of Reiki as a thank you for their donation. And so, gradually, I mean, I can remember doing updates and being like, "Okay, well, we've got 3% raised. Okay, well, we've got 13% raised." And gradually, we got enough for me to actually do the apprenticeship. And so, sure enough, I went through the apprenticeship, and I had my first Reiki class, and it was actually a long distance class that I had to do over Skype because the people who wanted to learn Reiki from me were my best friend since I was 6 years old, who also grew up Catholic along with me, actually, and her husband and my mom. And so my mom was in my first ever Reiki class. So, yeah, that's my story. That's why I do what I do. Right? I get it, Michael. All right, well, guys, I have been here longer than usual tonight. I want to thank you all for spending some of your precious time with me and for getting to know me. Thank you for the great questions, Michael, and thank you guys for listening to the long-winded answers. Um, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the thumbs ups and thank you for sharing this video. Thank you also to those of you who are ordering readings, private readings and private Reiki sessions. And for those of you who, well, I'll see some of you here in private readings and private Reiki sessions, and the rest of you, I'll see back on the next video. Peace out.